Okay, so now we're ready to use our oil pastels, and these are also known as crayons, and they're really a nice size oil pastel. An oil pastel is a super soft crayon, at least that's what you can think of them as. You can see that I've already jumped ahead on this, and I have created patterns on each of my grounds. I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to demonstrate on the ones that I just created in the video before. I like to start with my first one, and you can do any pattern you would like. You want to keep it pretty simple, because if you make it very complicated, it's just going to take you a really long time to do. I'm going to start with polka dots, because someone, when I was teaching a class, someone said, oh, what about polka dots? And that's a great thing to do. It doesn't matter where I start when I make my polka dots, but I want you to think of the number 5 on a dice. So here's my number 5. Thinking of it this way is going to help you create the rest of your dot pattern. So now here's this. I'm going to put this dot in the middle, here and here. Now your pattern, you want to keep it the same. You don't want to change. I don't want to suddenly start doing something else. You want to keep it the same throughout this ground. And of course, the more colorful, the neater you make it, and more colorful you make it, the more pleasing it is going to be to look at. And remember, we've been talking about craftsmanship this year. And craftsmanship is just simply how neat and how careful you are with your work. All right, so there's polka dots. I like polka dots. So that's one. My next one. Someone also said, Mrs. Lawrence, zigzag lines. That's another favorite. Now I'm looking for a color to take, maybe pink. And I'm just going to start with a nice big zigzag line somewhere. And remember, a pattern, way back in kindergarten, we learned pattern as A, B, A, B. So you want to be thinking that, well, this is my A, this pink zigzag line, but what am I going to do to alternate to be the B? And you can see my zigzag line, it kind of comes off the paper here, so I don't see everything. And I'm trying to also go fast. There. Now the other part of this pattern, I'm going to choose another color, and I like to go right in the middle there, right in between the pink lines. Now you don't have to do my patterns. Certainly, if you have another pattern you want to do, you can do it. I'm just giving you something to think of, something to start with. And already I'm starting to think of, what am I going to do in my other, on my other piece of paper? Okay, so now you can see how that's going to look. Okay, now I have my last one to do. Now, in my one that I showed you, I did a plaid. And if you remember being a first grader and working on the scarecrows, I taught you how to do plaid. You can do that, or you can do something different. On this one, I'm just going to demonstrate diagonal lines. Now, diagonal lines are on a slant, diagonal, kind of like a candy cane, I guess you'd say. And I'm just going to do some diagonal lines. Now I'm going quickly, and you can see some of my lines aren't so neat. So I would go back and kind of neaten these up. But I don't want my video to be super long, so I'm going to kind of skip around here, okay? So there's that, and then I could come back with another color, and maybe I'm going to do a zigzag line since I like them so much. Maybe zigzag and then dots. Zigzag and then dots. Zigzag and then dots. I could color in. Now this is all up to you on how you're going to do your pattern. I'm just giving you things to think about. Hopefully you will get an idea from watching how I'm doing this one. And maybe I'm going to do something like that. Now I'm not going to finish mine, but you get the idea. I'm going to bring back my plaid to kind of show you what it looks like in the end. So that is what you need to do first. Oh, as long as we're here, we'll do one last thing. When you're all done with that, then you're going to take the black oil pastel, and you're only going to outline that curve, just like that. Just like that. And like that. And then of course you know what comes next, right? We're going to glue these together so they're like this. Okay? Can't wait to see what yours look like.